Hey guys, it's Drew. Thanks for watching my videos again. This is my thoughts on Spider-Woman, which maybe I should read more. This is the first time I've ever read Spider-Woman or any kind of Spider-Woman book, and her name is Jessica Drew, and I'm Drew, so maybe I should read more about the adventures of Jessica Drew. But that's not the reason why I'm covering this book. This is has been out for 2 weeks, and a number of people have talked about it on social media, and I had thoughts about what I saw, but I hadn't had a chance to actually read the book, and I don't want to flame something or torch something if I haven't actually read it in context. So because of the ongoing current events, my comic book shop has been closed, so I had them pull this for me, and I PayPal'd them the money. Then I went and I bought the book on Marvel's website so I could read it directly and get these screenshots. So I read the book, and I've got thoughts about it, and the thoughts really have to do with branding. Now, if you're not familiar with this, a lot of companies will have guidelines about how their characters can be used or what their characters can say or do. One of the more famous examples was when they were doing Roger Rabbit, the movie Roger Rabbit, and they were trying to get licensing for all the different characters to appear in that film. They could only get Bugs Bunny and Mickey Mouse if they had the exact same amount of time on screen. And so the reason for this was to protect the intellectual property. And this is important because this particular book, Spider-Woman, and that point is relevant because in this particular issue of Spider-Woman, we have a costume party where all the different characters are wearing different Marvel superhero outfits. And things happen that should not be happening in a book like this, or a book by Marvel. And the writer here basically uses it as an excuse to rail against the rich people who don't apparently ever care about anybody but themselves, and work out her anger issues with people who have differing opinions that she has. Okay, and she does it in an inappropriate manner, in my opinion, and that's Pacheco here, or I believe that's how you pronounce her name. I apologize if I'm getting the name wrong, but I believe it's Carla Pacheco. So the book is, for what it's worth, the book itself is fine as far as the production values are concerned. The writing is snappy, it does move, but that's not my concern. That's not my problem with this. And I'm going to get to that point right now. Okay, so the setup here is that Spider-Woman is providing freelance security for a birthday party for a wealthy businessman's 16-year-old daughter. Okay, and here's the credits. We got Carla Pacheco writing. I believe that's Perez. Again, I apologize if that's wrong, but fantastic artist, as you can see. And something happens here that is what I feel is damaging to the brand, and it's played for laughs, but it really shows an underlying philosophical problem that Carla has, and Carla's not the only one, but a lot of writers have, where they feel like the best thing we can do is to get back at people that we don't like or that we disagree with by creating straw men and beating the living daylights out of them. And haha, see, get it, and we're gonna stick it to those incels out there, and all those comic book fans that up until 10 years ago were super wonderful, loyal people, but now are the worst, most despicable people in the world. The worst, most despicable people in the world. So let's get to it. In this panel, we have a minor saying, "I knew I shouldn't have come to this stupid cripple's birthday party. My parents are gonna sue all of you." Now, the birthday party, the birthday girl here is a disabled girl in a wheelchair, okay? And it doesn't matter really what led to this point. What matters here is typically at this point, the hero character would take the minor aside and explain to them that they're seeing the world in a way that's not the best way to go about living your life, and they would give guidance and offer guidance to the character. That's problem number one. She doesn't do that, which we're going to get to in a second. Secondly, the character here who is saying this, again, a quote, "This stupid cripple's birthday party," is wearing a Marvel superhero outfit. He's cosplaying as Deadpool and a sombrero. And so to this wholly inappropriate comment, Spider-Woman says, "You know how to swim, kid?" And then instead of answering her with a yes or no, he says, "Listen, blankety blank, I'm the junior captain of the diving team at my..." And she takes him, throws him off the yacht. And he lands in the water. And if you're going to wear that costume, you should really look into a dance belt. This is not how a Marvel superhero should behave. Okay, let's back this up. This is not, right here, this is not what this character should be wearing. This character is someone who needs to be shown proper guidance. He is a minor, okay? You don't beat up kids because they say stupid things. You give them guidance. They say stupid things because they're kids and don't know any better, all right? That's the point. And the fact that this made it through writing and conception and editing and made it to a printed product and is shipped out shows a real lack of understanding about proper control, quality control of the intellectual property. And it's something that needs to be addressed, because if it doesn't get addressed, it's going to turn people off, because, you know, the only people that are impressed with this are the people that already have an attitude that is not really about enjoying entertainment, but it's about getting back at people, and that's not really what makes great art. Okay, it really isn't. So we set up a straw man. Basically, no kid really ever says this in reality. Okay, that would be in this situation. So there's really, I mean, it's totally. It's totally wrong, okay? It's just an excuse for her to beat the living daylights out of a kid. By the way, I bet you Carla would never spank a child, or would be an advocate of never disciplining a child physically, okay? Yet here she is writing a situation or a sequence where not only do we physically discipline the child, we throw them off a yacht, okay? And haha, look at this. We basically... done something that could be considered manslaughter or even second-degree attempted murder. Okay, but yeah, she throws in a life or what do you call these things? Why am I pulling a blank on that? A life preserver here, or a floaty ring. I don't spend a lot of time on yachts, obviously. But she throws in a flotation device for him to grab onto, and then she throws in a witty line about, and if you're going to wear this costume, you really should look into a dance belt. Okay, whatever. And then he apparently is crying. And then she says, okay, let's be honest, being reasonable kind of sucked. No, being reasonable, I mean, I know it. With great power comes great responsibility, including being reasonable. This is irresponsible. This is unreasonable. It's not funny. And it hurts the Marvel brand as far as I'm concerned, and as far as a lot of people who are well-adjusted adults would be concerned, okay? But that's not all, okay? You get more for your $3.99 for this comic book, because she's not done abusing this child. There are terrorists who are attacking the yacht to kidnap the wealthy businessman's daughter. And at some point, this kid manages to get back up on the yacht, and she decides that what she's going to do is she's going to use him as a projectile. And she says, and if I ever hear you say cripple or sexist blankety blank again, I'm tossing you by the blankety blank. And then she throws the kid at the terrorist. And then for good measure, says, "Let's go for a walk, Pepe Le Kidnapper. Get it? Because he's French, and Pepe Le Pew is French. Ha ha ha." My God. You do not beat up children, okay? Okay, you just don't, all right? This is not how heroes work, and I don't believe Spider-Woman is an anti-hero. You know, I mean, this doesn't seem to be the typical marketing for this character. She's not the Punisher. So this kind of thing is just not appropriate for books. So rule number one, a Marvel character, even a character cosplaying as Deadpool here, ta-da, should never ever say this dialogue. "I knew I shouldn't have come to that stupid cripple's birthday party. My parents are going to sue all of you." Never. This should never happen. This is a failure on editing, okay? Because the writer's going to write what they want to write, but the editor's the one that says, "No, let's find a different way of saying that," okay? Secondly, heroes should never throw minors or assault minors. Just forget about throwing minors. Heroes should never assault minors, okay? That should be another rule here. This is not the way you deal with children, okay? You do not beat them up. You do not throw them off. I mean, this is not an adult here. This is not someone who knows better. This is not someone who's 21 years old and a frat boy. This is like what? Like a 14-year-old, okay? This is a child, okay? We don't beat the hell out of children. It's not funny either. I mean, you can think this is funny. You can think this is funny if you have an underdeveloped understanding of the world, but this is, it's terrible. So number one, top point, Marvel characters should never say things like that are offensive and derogatory towards disabled people, number one. Number two, Marvel heroes like Spider-Woman should never assault minors, okay? And number three, Marvel heroes should never resort to nationalistic slurs or racial slurs, okay? Which is really what this amounts to, okay? And number four, Marvel heroes should always take minors aside who have engaged in misguided behavior and educate them in a loving, compassionate manner, because that's what adults do, all right? Jessica here is a new mother. She's got a child, and she has her husband or boyfriend or whatever at home trying to take care of the kid. Are you trying to tell me that this is what she's going to do when her kid comes home and says something like this? She's going to take him and throw him off a frigging yacht? She's going to take him and throw him through a building? You know? I mean, come on, give me a break, man. So, yeah, no. Total failure on editorial part, on the part of editorial, and it's a total failure and a total lack of understanding of what the brand of Marvel should be, okay? Now, obviously, I don't work at Marvel. Probably will never, ever work. I can't even imagine ever working at Marvel. But the bottom line is there should be adults there that are taking care to make sure that this kind of thing is not how the company is represented. It's just not, this is not acceptable. And this is just issue number one. So we'll see. I don't know anything about this writer other than what I'm seeing here. And this is what I'm judging it on. I've got no social media interaction with any of the creatives or the creative team on this book. This is just a matter of me saying, this is a problem and this is not something that really should be happening and it should be addressed going forward. So that's my opinion. This is the kind of thing that explains why comic shops and the comic book industry is not as successful as it could be, or even as it maybe should be. So that's my take on Spider-Woman. If you want to go ahead and read it, go ahead and read it. Don't go flame any of these people on social media. You know, they're getting paid to do a job. They're turning in work. Editorial at Marvel should be the ones that have the wherewithal and the intelligence and the maturity to recognize that this kind of thing is not appropriate. Okay? That's just it. All right. Again, thanks for watching. If you liked it, like and subscribe, and I appreciate that. If you didn't like it, well, thanks for watching anyway. I appreciate that, and I'll see you next time.